Russia's State Duma has approved a bill to withdraw from the European Convention for the Prevention of Torture, citing restrictions on its participation in the Council of Europe. Lawmakers said Moscow could no longer fully engage with the Committee for the Prevention of Torture and Inhumane or Degrading Treatment after the Council of Europe blocked Russia's involvement. The decision underscores Russia's continuing rift with European institutions, following earlier suspensions and withdrawals from rights mechanisms amid tensions with the West. The Kremlin says it supports reforming the United Nations Security Council, but admits reaching consensus among member states is almost impossible. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Russia has long backed adapting the council to modern realities. However, he noted that deep divisions among permanent members make agreement unachievable for now, calling the current framework the only viable structure. Peskov's remarks come amid global debate over the Security Council's legitimacy and calls for greater representation of emerging powers. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has condemned Russia's airspace violations over Poland and Romania, warning they are part of Moscow's attempts to destabilize Europe. Addressing the Bundestag, Merz said peace in Ukraine cannot come at the cost of Kiev's sovereignty or territorial integrity, stressing that a dictated peace would only embolden President Vladimir Putin to seek further targets. The Chancellor also announced upcoming visits to countries outside the transatlantic region to push for new trade deals, saying expanding partnerships is vital for Germany's export-driven economy.
Und diese Ereignisse fügen sich ein in einen Trend in Deutschland und in Europa. Putin
Russia says its forces struck Ukrainian targets as Kiev reported an overnight attack on a Russian oil refinery. Moscow's defense ministry said on Tuesday its forces hit Ukrainian positions in Sumy, Kharkiv, Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia, destroying fuel depots, logistics hubs and drone sites. Ukraine's military, meanwhile, said it struck the Saratov oil refinery in southwestern Russia, causing explosions and a fire at the facility. The site, Kiev says, supplies petroleum products to Russian forces. Iran is urging European powers to respond positively after signing a new cooperation deal with the UN nuclear watchdog, following the snapback of UN sanctions. Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baqai said Tehran has shown it is committed to diplomacy and will seize every opportunity to protect the interests of the Iranian nation. His remarks come as Iran faces renewed UN sanctions reimposed by European powers, while efforts continue to ease tensions over its nuclear program. In Nepal, thousands of inmates who escaped during riots in Kathmandu are now returning to prison voluntarily. Days after the collapse of the government, police say around 5,000 of the 13,500 prisoners who fled amid the unrest have surrendered, with many choosing to return on their own. Families of inmates are calling for leniency, arguing those who surrendered should receive reduced sentences. The mass jailbreak followed violent riots that toppled Nepal's government, leaving the prison system in disarray. Authorities are still searching for thousands who remain at large.